the second part of my introduction to state machines. In this video I want to do an example of how to model a system. It will be a non-technical system, and I'll try to show how to model a simple process of boiling an egg. Right? So let's start with thinking about what we want the system to do. So we have an egg. Right? If you buy an egg and it's new, this egg is raw. Right? So this egg can be raw. If we boil it for a little bit, it will be soft boiled. Soft boiled. Now, if we boil it for a little longer, it will be hard boiled. And if you leave it on the table for a week or so, it will probably spoil, so it will be spoiled. So in this system we can see that the egg can be in one of four states. So our system will have 4 different states. We saw that, or if we just buy an egg, it's raw. So raw is probably going to be our initial state. So let's start modeling. So first we'll start by putting down the initial state. We said it's raw, so we have it here. Raw. It's a state, so we will put it in an ellipse. And it's an initial state, and we mark initial states using an arrow coming from a word reset. So we have reset, and the system comes here to the raw state. So now we have a raw egg in a raw state. We said that if we boil it for 4 minutes, the egg will become harder, and well, not the egg, but the white will just become harder, and it will be a soft boiled egg. Okay, so put down the soft boiled state. It's a state, so I'll put it in an ellipse again. Okay, now we have transition from the state raw to the state soft boiled. When this transition happens? This transition happens when you boil the egg for 4 minutes. So boil for 4 minutes. Right? Then we transition to the soft boil state. And what's the action? So if you boil it for 4 minutes, the white will get hard. So action is white hardens. Alright, so now if we model the transition from the raw to soft boiled by boiling. We have our third state, and that's the hard boiled state. How do we get to hard boiled state? We have to boil it for 4 minutes longer. So we'll put another state down, hard boiled. Hard boiled is a state, so ellipse again. And how do we get in that state? By boiling for 4 minutes. So boiled for 4 minutes. That's our condition. And what happens when we boil it for another 4 minutes? The yolk will harden. The yolk hardens. Alright. Now, what if we keep boiling in the hard boiled state? Well, it cannot get anymore hard, so it will just stay in the state. So we can just put it like that, right? Boiling. Boiling. Change doesn't state does not change. The state does not change with any more boiling if it's already boiled. So this is how we modeled the process of boiling. Now we have one additional state, and that's here as the spoiled state. So we want to model that the egg can go bad, right? So we will put it down here. Spoiled. Now, when does the egg spoil? So if the egg is raw and you leave it on a table for, let's say, 2 days, it will probably spoil. So we can model it as a transition from the raw state to the spoiled state like that, right? And we transitioned it if it was left on the table for 2 days. So left out for 2 days, right? And it will spoil. And what's the effect of spoiling? Well, it will probably start smelling bad. So right, so it starts smelling bad. Alright, so that's the transition from raw to spoiled if you leave it out for let's say 2 days. Now, can the egg spoil even if it's soft boiled? I think it can, so but it will probably take longer. So if it's soft boiled and we left it out on the table for, I don't know, 4 days, it will spoil. So left out for 4 days, right? And again, the effect here is the same as on the first transition, so I can just copy it there. And can it spoil when it's hard boiled? Of course. So we will model another transition here from the hard boiled state to the spoiled state, and we can put another, like a different condition again. When it's hard boiled, it's probably the most preserved, the best preserved. So it will go bad after 1 week. So left out for 1 week, right? And again, the effect is the same, so I can just copy it here, and it'll be like that. So I think that's the system modeled, right? When you get the egg when it's new from the store, it's raw. You boil it for 4 minutes, it will be soft boiled. If you boil it more, it will be hard boiled. And if you keep boiling in the hard boiled state, it will just stay here and nothing happens. If you leave it out and it's raw, for 2 days it will spoil. If it's soft boiled, then it takes 4 days. And if it's hard boiled, then it takes the entire week to spoil. So that's how we could how we can model system how we can model this egg and its boiling. We could do it even a different way. We could use, instead of actions, we can use activities. So what if I wanted to use activities instead of actions? Well, first I would get rid of these. I would get rid of these actions. So I'll delete actions. so I got rid of those actions. Now we have to put down activities. So when the activities are the conditions or effects associated with states. So how does the egg look when it's raw? So the white is raw, the white is soft, right? And the yolk is also soft. Well, now when you boil it, it will be soft boiled. How soft boiled egg look? Well, the white is hard and the yolk is soft. And if it's hard boiled, then everything is hard. So we have white being hard, and we also have yolk being soft, being also hard. Right? And what about the spoiled state? When it's spoiled, well, it smells bad, so it just smells bad. Aye. Alright, so that's the same system. I think that the behavior here is exactly the same, but it's designed using activities instead of actions. So that's it for this video. In the third part and last part, I will show a different example. I will show how to design a button debouncer.